We're gonna just be drawing our younger selves and talking about sort of what we was like as a younger person.
Okay, shall I start drawing?
Yeah.
So am I drawing a younger me?
Yeah.
Can it be an interpretation of me, or does it have to look like me?
If you was to meet your younger self for coffee, what do you think she would wear?
She would definitely be wearing a Liverpool shirt. Football shirt.
Did you like a lot of sort of sports when you were growing up?
Yeah, at football, I was obsessed with football. That's what I used to do, actually. I used to play football. So my mum tried to put me in like dresses and skirts and stuff, but I would refuse. I would sometimes compromise with her, like on a Sunday. I'd be like, okay, I'll wear this skirt if I can wear a Liverpool shirt. So sometimes I'd get away with.
What age is this that you're painting?
I'm gonna say I'm painting like 8-year-old Georgie, I think.
I think I'm gonna go for like maybe 11-year-old me.
Oh,
Do you think that you've sort of always been like interested in music, would you say?
No, not always actually. I didn't find music till I was like 10, 11. I fell in love with Elvis. My uncle played me an Elvis record. But before that it was just football. My sisters and brother really liked music and I used to just not be interested, which is weird. And then later on in life, obviously, when I found Elvis, I fell in love with it and I was like, okay, it all makes sense now. And then I just started listening to a lot more records and had watched every Elvis film, got like Elvis books and I've got so much Elvis memorabilia in my house. I need to do something with it all. So yeah, it was kind of a bit later on really.
Do you think that it was like the sort of, because the songs sometimes are quite upbeat in his films, do you think that sort of was what you liked about music, because you make quite upbeat music, I would say?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's funny because I went through different stages of different kind of vibes of music that I would love. So I went through my Elvis phase, which has always been a phase. Like I always love Elvis, and I love his upbeat and charisma. Is something that I loved about him actually.
Yeah.
I thought he was just. I felt like he was easy to like. But then I went through like a Bob Dylan stage and like Joni Mitchell and stuff, which is obviously not as upbeat, but it was similar in the fact that it had a message and was probably relatable to a lot of people. But I didn't find that till I was a bit older and really started actually playing music, and like picked up the acoustic guitar and stuff.
When did you sort of start playing music?
I think I was 13 or 14, let me think. I was in like year 8 maybe. How old are you in year 8?
I think about like 13, I think.
So about that age. And I picked up a guitar. I just used to play guitar before I started singing actually.
Was it acoustic or electric?
It was electric to start with. And then I was really into like rock and riffs. I just wanted to play riffs really loud. Like Smoke on the Water. Riffs that are easy to play and satisfying to play when you're not that good on guitar and you're a beginner. And then I went to acoustic later when I fell in love with Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell and Fleetwood Mac and stuff.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac's good.
Yeah, Fleetwood Mac.
Do you take any sort of like inspirations in your current music from what you liked before?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I think it always I think music that you listen to early on always has an impact on the music you make for the rest of your life, I think. No matter how much I've tried to like divert from all that stuff, is always there. So like, I think even with GIRLBAND, like when I'm writing for GIRLBAND, you can still hear like the Americana I think, and like a bit of the, even though it's like alternative rock, I still think there's some like Americana country, Bruce Springsteen, Elvis, Fleetwood Mac vibes in there, which just like, it just comes. I try not to do it sometimes. I'm like, right now, I'm gonna write like a proper alternative rock song, and then
just naturally.
Yeah, yeah. So I've just kind of like, I let it just happen now. I made my feet really pointy. I got like little flippers going on. Yeah, it just I've just like let myself do like let that happen now. I think before I try and control it, and then you don't end up writing as many songs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, whatever I write. It's meant to be whatever happens.
So do you think when you was younger, what do you think your younger self would think of, like, with the music you make now?
I think younger Georgie would be over the moon. I think she'd be very proud of herself, actually. I think mainly because of the honesty in the music I make now. Obviously I came out later than I would have liked to have come out, and there was a lot of stuff like that that held me back and being honest with who I was. And I think I always held that from being a kid. Like I always, it's almost like I always had this unspoken secret that I wanted the world to know, and I just couldn't. So that's the thing why I used to get obsessed with stuff like football or music. But now obviously, like, having a song like Not Like the Rest out, and songs about being queer, and songs about being yourself and being strong in that, like, I think little Georgie would be proud, and I think it took a lot to get there as a person.
Yeah.
You overcome things. Oh no, I've given myself. It looks like I've been hit in the face. Got a black eye. Oh no. I can't draw I'm very heavy-handed. So my eyes are terrible.
My eyes are blue because I didn't have any like black, so I was like, I'll just do blue.
Oh,
so
yours is great.
Thanks.
I'm just gonna make mine into blobs, actually.
Do you want to show
That's it. There you go. As you can see,
Did you ever think that you was going to be in a band, and what was your journey overall?
I always wanted to be in a band. I just hadn't. So I started out solo.
Yeah.
Did that for a good 10 years, I think. Playing in different bands in between, but it was never named a band. It was just Georgie with some bandmates. But it was, which was fun, and I really enjoyed it. And it's funny because when I started GIRLBAND, I was quick to forget about all the past Georgie stuff.
Yeah.
And like I've learnt now to actually I shouldn't, because it was such a weird I think because I wasn't being myself, and I was like not fully comfortable with who I wasn't out and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What am I saying? I lost my track of thought thinking about drawing these arms. I was never quite able to let go as Georgie, and what I did, I loved it, and I was writing songs all the time and stuff, but there was always something that I just couldn't quite let go of, and I think that was finding myself.
Yeah.
Which is why one of the main reasons I started a band, really. I came out and was like, I need to do something a bit different to fit where I am in my life now.
Yeah.
And then came GIRLBAND. And Georgie was very lonely as well. On tour and stuff, it was didn't really have anyone to talk to. And it was like, I was signed to Sony. I was no longer signed to Sony. Like, there was real highs and lows, and I think I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm either going to quit music or I need to start something else. So I started GIRLBAND.
Yeah. So it's been very like relaxing and like I guess introspective. Do you think that's a word that would describe how you make music in your band?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's suitable for the time of like for me now and how I feel, and it's real fun and it's great and it just feels right. Is what I would say.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got, you know, you're playing every night with your two best buddies, so it's like there's a camaraderie with it as well, which is really nice. And I think that the type of songs that I'm writing, because of girl band, is different. I wouldn't have necessarily wrote a song like 21st Century Suffragette as a solo artiste, so that's quite nice, to be fair. I like yours. Yours is great. Mine, I don't know what to say about mine. I really do look like a horror film girl. I actually lived in a very haunted house, so that was probably suitable.
Well, like actually haunted?
Yeah.
Oh.
Super haunted. Oh, it was terrifying.
Wow.
The room I was in as well was the haunted one. Yeah.
That's not very nice that they put you in that room.
I know. Yeah. The story gets worse, but it's
People go into that
for
in
another
deep
day.
dive.
Yeah. Yeah. What the heck? I didn't know what to do with the hands, so I made it like I'm running, so they're going really fast. So they're just a blur. Yeah, it's going to be a nice chat.
Yeah. Industry chat.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice chat.
Hi Georgie.
Hello.
So you've had your painting, you've had your relaxing, now it's time to get serious.
Oh.
So
Yeah, I'm in Zen now.
you're in Zen.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta snap out of it. So we kind of wanted to know more about your experience as a woman. I mean, do you identify as a woman?
Yeah, she.
Cool. So yeah, just kind of your experience as a woman in the industry, because you've kind of had different capes, I guess, like with your solo career, and then in the band, like you've probably had to like twist and turn your way through. So I don't know if you want to speak on that a little bit for us.
Yeah, I think like, you know what, I said to someone recently, like I found myself, and they said to me like no one ever finds themselves, they just find different versions of themselves through life. And I feel like that, when they said that, I was like, yeah, that's what I've been doing then. So you don't just suddenly open a door and like, this is myself, which I thought I had with Go On. It was just a new version of myself. But yeah, I have worn a lot of capes, I suppose. I think that kind of happens naturally when you do something like music. And because I've done it for a while, you are twisting and turning on different journeys that show themselves present at that time for you as an artist, and how you want to vocate your emotions, which I think is what I did. But I guess in some sense I have found myself, a version of myself that I really deeply love. Like we were talking about the younger thing earlier, like when I first picked up a guitar, I think this is the version of me that young Georgie would be like, now we're getting somewhere. That's who I wanted to be.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You're versatile then in this industry.
Yeah, I like to think so. I think like you kind of have to be these days. Like through the 10 years or whatever that I've been doing it, I've like done so many different things, like from working in a music studio, writing for adverts, producing, teaching music, cover gigs, playing weddings, worked in a music shop, been in bands and session played and all this different stuff that you kind of learn to do. But along the way you just learn so much about your industry. So it's like it's amazing. You only learn from, even students that I've like taught, I've learned as much from them as hopefully they have from me. Sorry
to interrupt, but from all of that experience that you've had, what's the scene been like in terms of people that you've been working with? Is it male dominated? Have you had to kind of stomp your foot down and speak a little bit louder to get you know, do that little bit extra work because you are like a female in the scene?
Yeah, definitely. It's so male dominated. I remember the first tour that I ever did with, luckily for me, I work with, and I have done for a while, my manager and tour manager are both men, and they're amazing, and they're so like forward thinking, and for women's, you know, rights, and for women to do well, and like, so I'm lucky. But I remember when I did the first tour with, and Mark, my tour manager, we were on it together, and I remember saying to him, I was like, oh my god, I literally, it clicked. I was like, I'm the only woman here. For like all the roadies, the other people in the bands, the tech guys, like the promoter, like it was just all men. And I think that's when it hit me, because I was about maybe 21 at that time, 20.
That's young.
Yeah.
To realise that as well.
Yeah, and it's the same like when I was with Sony, I was doing a lot of writing with other writers, and a lot of them was men, as a lot of those were male as well. Again, they were all amazing. I can't say I had any bad experiences. Like the men that I've worked with have been, I haven't really been mansplained or anything to, but I don't know if that's because like I've always been vocal about kind of what, when it comes to music, what kind of thing I want to do. But it's, you meet the odd person who likes to mansplain. We all do it, don't we? yeah.
I don't know, I guess touching on that, I know that girl band performed at Splendor 2023, and if we remember correctly, all of the kind of like the headliners were men, or like male bands. How do you feel about that? I think festivals need to probably do more. Right. I do. I think like going for male bands is just like, it's an easy win, isn't it? But like, there's no excuse now. Like, you know, you've got people like Chappell Roan, Charlie XCX, like Taylor Swift, like Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah, I know they're not necessarily rock, but like they're all viable headliners. Yeah. You know, they're like, they were the nominees for like, you know, all the Brit Awards and the Grammys. Like, there's some of the best things around at the minute, so I don't think there's any excuse not to have women. I think there needs to be more done to kind of in rock music for women. Right. I think that's still incredibly male dominated. A lot of the festivals that we play are like primarily men, and you don't bump into many all female bands, but you know, it's getting a bit better. You got like Last Dinner Party and Wet Leg and stuff. Yeah. But there's still a long way to go. Yeah, I was gonna say, with your genre in particular, how have you three found that? And also reaching your audience. Are you kind of reaching men in your audience as well, or is it still like the ladies are finding you ladies type thing?
It's a bit of both, actually. It depends what kind of like show we're playing. Like we recently did a tour with this band from America called Destroy Boys in Europe, and they're amazing, and you know, queer identifying, like female and males in the band, and their audience was really young and very like open, and it was just an incredible crowd to play in front of, because it wasn't male dominated. Whereas we've done other gigs with like perhaps maybe say an older rock band where it has just been like Sex Pistols was mainly men, like punk men, and like we walked out onto the stage, and I was like, oh gosh, like okay, we're supporting Sex Pistols, so one, we were all a bit like, oh god,
that's insane.
And a bit nervous, but then you look out and it's just these like old punks, and at first you kind of, and I've had this a lot with certain crowds, where you see them look at you, and we're called girl band, so they don't know what to they know to expect three girls. And then we walk out and we are three girls, and you see them looking at us like, okay, what is this going to be? Is it going to be like harmony pop things? And then we start with this jam, which is like really explosive rock, and you suddenly see them like, what the fuck?
No, their heads,
so you that's quite nice. Yeah, it's nice to surprise them, which is like, I think you just have to see it that way rather than like fighting with it. Like, people are going to assume a certain thing when you're a woman in a band. And I think if you just say, well, this is what we do, we're we're a rock band, and you'll find out in a second.
Yeah. I feel like from watching you guys over the years, you're so unapologetic, and I think you just take it in your stride and you make the space for yourself, like as a viewer and like consumer of your content and music, I guess. It comes across that way. Yeah.
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
That's nice, and we really want it to come across like that for especially other women. It's really important to us. You know, not that we do it by trying. That is just who we are. And Jada and Kay are the same. Like they're very unapologetic, strong women. And it's amazing to like ride with them.
Yeah.
On as someone who's done solo, like to have two incredibly strong women, and we all support each other like that, which is nice. Yeah, sisterhood. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. Well, this question's kind of void now, but I was gonna say, are you guys more like sisters now, or is it just business?
No, we're like silly sisters.
Yeah.
yeah. It's got to that point, like on tour and in the van when you're spending hours to each other. Like, you know, we've heard everything.
I bet.
And we know a lot about each other.
Yeah.
And we've been through a lot together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a special bond. I always get sad when we finish a tour. I'm like, oh, it's like saying bye to the family at Christmas.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
No one else will know what you three are feeling.
Yeah.
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 I also wanted to ask, you know, there's a lot of, I guess it seems like there's a lot of progression in terms of women in kind of positions of power and calling the shots from the outside anyway. There seems to be people making a lot of noise about that. And would you say it's kind of keeping up appearances, or as someone who's kind of integrated in the industry, do you think you're seeing a change since you started to now in terms of women in those positions of power type thing?
Yeah, I do actually.
Cool.
I think it's like I say, it's still a lot to do. There's still nowhere near as many women producers and women writers and stuff, but there's more. And there's definitely more women that are in power at like record labels and publishing companies and stuff. Like I've met some incredibly strong women who have headed big labels and stuff. Who are like powerhouses.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's getting better.
That's good to know. And with your performing, do you still get nervous?
No,
Wow.
weirdly, yeah, I don't anymore. It's weird. I still get like excited, but I don't get nervous anymore. Actually, I went through a stage of really getting nervous. Like I think when I first started performing, like I wasn't ever that nervous. I think because I went into that was my outlet. So like I didn't think about anything else other than like I needed to say these things. I need to get this off my chest. Otherwise I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
Where like somewhere in the solo stuff, I came off stage once actually, which not many people know. I had like a panic attack.
Wow.
Like 3,000 people.
Oh wow.
Something, maybe not 3,000, 2,000.
After you performed?
During.
During?
I was supporting Jake Bugg.
Oh my gosh.
This is something I've never spoke about actually.
Oh okay.
But fuck it, we'll speak about it
Yeah,
now,
thanks
really.
for sharing.
And I couldn't believe what was happening because I'd never had that happen to me. And I just remember starting the first song, got through the first song just about, and then I started the second song and I was like, I can't breathe. I felt like I could not breathe.
Wow.
And I was like, I thought I was dying. So I called an ambulance. It was just like some mad anxiety that was happening at the time.
Oh wow.
And I was like so frightened at that time because I was like, I'm not going to be able to continue doing what I love more than anything. Because it's like, there's no way I can step back on that stage. And I had to because we had tours and stuff booked. But I remember each gig was like quite difficult. And it was stuff like Brixton Academy, and I'd just been signed at this point. Like,
That's a pinnacle moment to be having to deal with that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I really had to fight it, and it took a long time. And again, I think I took some time out, basically, to go and find myself. I came out and partied hard.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of went. And now I'm like, I feel more bulletproof than ever.
Wow.
With stuff like that. especially with Katie and Jada as well. It's like, it's
Yeah.
different when you've got your two best friends up there. with
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you've been on a actual journey,
Yeah,
ups and downs.
big ups and downs.
That's
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah, it's
How-
funny. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
Did you have to kind of get a handle on the, if you still want to talk about it more, on the like panic attack thing? Have you ever had kind of anxiety about it happening again, or did it kind of just fall away?
I did have it for a long time,
Yeah.
but I went through. There was a lot of stuff happening at home,
Yeah.
and in my personal life too. So I couldn't really get a handle on it until I stepped away from all of that and found who I was. Not found who I was because I knew who I was, but let that person become, you know,
Yeah.
inside me, outside me, whatever. So I couldn't really address it at the time,
Right.
and I didn't. The more I thought about it, the more, you know, it was still bad, and I had gigs to play, so I just had to battle through it, and before facing it, and then I got in a position where I could finally address it. But it was quite a few years later.
And you really had to just keep that in you for a while.
Yeah.
Wow. Put on a
Yeah.
brave face.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's you
Yeah.
know, these things happen, and
I guess so.
I think that's why I always found it really uncomfortable to talk about because I didn't want anyone to see that side of me. But actually, I think it's really important because
Yeah.
it's normal for that to happen for performers.
Absolutely.
People look at performers and they think that they are bulletproof and that they can, and it's not the case. Like with everyone's, you know, it's the same for any person. We're all just people who
Yeah.
go through things that everybody does.
Especially with your stage presence. Because from seeing you a few times, I saw you perform a few weeks ago at your open mic. Industry.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so sick. After
Aw.
everyone performed, you came on last, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you kind of just showed us all how it was done.
Aw, no.
But yeah, your confidence just, because it was just you and a guitar, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just, yeah, everyone was like captivated in the audience. So from that story that you just told to, you know, just casually picking it up at your open mic, you know,
Yeah, I
it's
guess
not too shabby.
Yeah, you do. I think like the thing is as well is like I shed that skin, and a lot of it had to do with coming out, to be honest, as well, and not holding that heavy weight of a secret in a way. And then once that happened, I just like, you know, cover gigs like 5 times a week. I was just out playing all the time, and even now still, like when I'm not on tour with GIRLBAND, I'm like, you know, 4 or 5 gigs a week. So you just, I've played like over, I write down every gig, and I think it's over 1,800 now. 1,800 gigs.
That's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Including cover gigs. But yeah.
I wanted to ask you, do you think with social media obviously being a big element of artists' careers now, do you think, how important do you think it is, and do you think the performance aspect of people's artistic styles is getting kind of lost, or what do you think about that?
It's a hard one because I think I think there's pros and cons.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot that's getting lost. I think like the purest, you know, the pureness that you can just get from writing a song, and you're not explaining how you did it and stuff. But then also like there's artists who I love who have managed to, like Chappell Roan's a perfect example. I think like what Chappell Roan does is incredible, and I think it's really important for society. I think everything that she stands for is amazing, and would have she had that platform if it hadn't been for social media?
Yeah.
Maybe not, because she's a woman.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
it comes
Like,
back to that.
Yeah, so I think it's got its pros and its cons. It isn't. It's the way the industry is today, so I think there's no hiding from it. I think you just have to find your lane within it, which, you know, we're still trying to do with GIRLBAND. But, you know, I know there's a lot of musicians that hate it, and I did used to be one of those, but I found a way to like not be a cynical old twat, and if I can swear,
Yeah, go for it.
find a way to, you know, we got to work with what's here now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Use it to your advantage, I guess.
yeah, and I think like, you know, the younger generation like yourselves are like using it in a great way. I do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
In your song, Not Like the Rest, you talk about your town and your school and where you grew up and how you felt like you were so different to everything else going on. So you grew up in Mansfield?
Yes.
Is that right? Were you like town Mansfield or like a little bit on the outskirts?
Yeah, a little bit on the outskirts,
on the
but the
outskirts.
Mansfield's quite small, so it's like a 5-minute drive into the town of Mansfield.
Yeah, so like,
Yeah.
does how you grew up and where you grew up, does that have a lot of influence on the songs that you write now?
Yeah, definitely. Especially like say Not Like the Rest, because of being gay, that I found that quite hard in Mansfield. Because Mansfield, like, we all know, I love it very much, and that's what Heartbreak Town's about, but some things are difficult there, and being gay was one of them. So my brother, twin brother, is also gay.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, but he found himself a lot sooner than me, and he got the hell out of Mansfield as soon as he could, because he had he didn't have trouble at school, but some people called him gay and in a derogatory way.
Yes.
Which is not very nice. If you see
not
this,
very nice.
you know who you are. Yeah, welcome to you. He's actually really happy now. So yeah, so I guess seeing that at school and people just
But yeah,
saying the F word that rhymes with maggot.
that's the one.
Yeah, and stuff like the word that begins with a D that rhymes with psych. Like, but
Wow, I feel like that's a retro one.
it is, isn't it? The Mansfield is retro.
That's very true.
It is retro. Yeah, so just hearing that kind of stuff is kind of like made it kind of uncomfortable for me to come out. So and that's what Not Like the Rest is about. I definitely felt like I wasn't like the rest of the people that I grew up with, because they were talking about their boyfriends and stuff, and I was just feeling a bit lonely inside, I suppose. So yeah, it definitely had an impact on not only the music that I write, but like who I am as a person. It has some great things as well. That's, like Heartbreak Town's about how it will always be my hometown that I love very much, and there's some very lovely people there. Some of the nicest people I've ever met, actually.
So with Heartbreak Town, is it sort of like a bittersweet feeling, or is that not what that's about?
Yeah, I'd say it is, actually. I think that probably hits the nail on the head with that song. I think it's more bittersweet to what the town has become due to like the Conservatives government.
Yes.
And like even go back to Maggie Thatcher and stuff. It just became a forgotten town and didn't have the funding. Things got closed down, youth clubs, libraries, and it's kind of sad that the people of Mansfield had to suffer in that sense, and still are. With that song, it's still like, no matter what kind of place it is, like when I go back, it does feel like home.
Coming out of Mansfield, do you have a lot of people there who support you? Have you got like a big community there?
Yeah, there's a couple of. There's a place that's not quite in Mansfield. It's kind of in Pinkston, which is just outside of Mansfield, and there's a place called the Hop Inn, and the people that go there are so lovely. And I go back there and I play like a couple of times a year, and they always support what I do and support like even when I came out and everything. They're really like I say, some of the best people I've ever met. And I guess when you grow, I guess you start finding friends that are kind of doing similar things to you, don't you? Like other creatives and stuff. So I don't really speak to that many people back home anymore, apart from my mum and my sister, who still lives there. Yeah.
That's good that's still going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you ever do like a big gig back in Mansfield?
Defo, yeah. We did, what did we do? What was it called? One Fest. Is that correct? I think so. Tash Bird runs it.
Oh yeah.
We love Tash. And that was a really lovely festival that we did back in Mansfield last year. and it was a beautiful, beautiful gig. It was such a fun, lovely gig. The people that were there, it's an amazing festival that you should check out. When I was like first started playing music, my dream was always to like play a gig in the Mansfield football ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mansfield Town.
That would be the dream. Yeah.
I think that could happen.
Yeah, we need some more fans first.
But I travel for that. What's the question?
I was going to say, I'll travel too.
I thought you were like, I've got the question.
It's only up the road.
We'll be there, we'll make enough noise. Do you feel like in Nottingham and like Mansfield and East Midlands that there's like equal balance of male and female acts who come up and come out of it, or do you think it's more skewed towards like the lad band or kind of male performers?
I actually think Nottingham's a really good city for it, especially coming from Mansfield. And like, I used to either get the Pronto into Nottingham or come with my mum for gigs when I was like 16. She used to bring me to all my gigs. I found the difference from Mansfield was like significant. I was like, oh wow, there's loads of great, amazing women that, you know, Harley Blue was one who like I used to really look up to, and they kind of took me under the wing. And Katie was one of those too. She would always get me back home safe and stuff. So there's a really nice impact. Yeah. So there was a nice empowering sisterhood for someone like a 16-year-old from Mansfield to come to Nottingham and see. I was like, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, it's still the same in Nottingham. I think it is well balanced. I think we could always do with more women rock bands again. I think that's the thing that like I feel I want to see more of. That's the hardest. Like, you know, not a lot of the Nottingham bands are lads. That's one of the reasons we started the open mic, me and Kai, industry, because we found like a lot of open mics were just like lads with acoustic guitars. Yeah. And we wanted to create a nice environment for people of all genders and everything to come and feel safe and able to play. So that was something that we did. Because they can be a bit frightening to go to, I think.
I was just going to say, when you were younger, or at any point have you ever felt like intimidated going into those like male open mic spaces?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, and they'd also like be sat in the corner talking about, you know, G chords and what Oasis song they were doing tonight.
I love Wonderwall.
Yeah. That change from the G to the C major. So, yeah, I think hopefully there's more spaces and stuff that are opening up for that to kind of change. Look, boys, you can have that as well. Like, you know what I mean? I don't mind it.
It's there for you.
Yeah. It's there for you, but like, you know, we need something for us as well. I do think that's important, because I know a lot of people like say stuff like, oh, you know, well, you could just go to that one, but you don't know because you're not a woman, so you don't know what it feels like. So, you know, it's about creating that space where, you know, until there's like, it's equal, you know.
Yeah.
There's 5 women with an acoustic guitar and 5 guys with an acoustic guitar. But yeah, I think Nottingham is a good city for it in general. I think the scene is very supportive of each other. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
And there's like kick-ass producers and songwriters like yourself.
Who's that?
So, yeah, it's true. It's great.
We'll cut that bit out.
You gotta keep that.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I agree. There's so many good like female-led things, like acoustical.
Yeah.
All of this. I feel like so many women in this building.
So many. Yeah, Parissa's amazing. Yeah. She's a powerhouse, actually.
She is amazing.
Yeah, and like Nina Smith as well. There's loads of great stuff. And Trish. Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah, kick-ass. Yeah.
I saw a quote when listening to your song your band song 21st Century Suffragette, and it's by Lady Gaga, and she just said, I wanted to write the This Is Who the F I Am anthem, but I didn't want it to be hidden in poetic wizardry and metaphors. I wanted it to be really direct, and I wanted it to say it the way it is. Do you think that with your music it's better to be direct with your lyrics because it gets your message across better? Because with another song, Not Like the Rest, there is a lot of colour metaphors and stuff like that. But the 21st Century Suffragette is more direct. So which do you think is more natural to you?
I think it depends what kind of song you're writing. Like with 21st Century Suffragette, like there was like no question that it had to be direct, because like it was. I was listening to a lot of Joan Jett at the time and stuff, and like who's super direct with the lyric and you know, abides to what Lady Gaga was saying. And I think with a message like that, I think you I just wanted to hit it home, like hit the message across, which a direct lyric works for that. And there's certain songs where it doesn't, but I think if you really want to slam a message into people's faces, then I think I prefer like writing a direct lyric. Yeah.
Do you think that when you're writing, you mainly write as a way to express yourself, or is it so that you can sort of connect with other people, or is it a combination?
It's a combination, I think, especially because like music that I love and listen to, like Carole King's one of my favourites, and I remember when I first put on that record Tapestry, and it felt like, you know, when you listen to a song, you're like, oh, they know what I'm feeling. It's like having a friend in the room.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted like that to come across with what I do, and I can only hope that it does. Because a lot of it just does come from self-emotion and where I'm at that time, and I always hope, like, if I can write this song truly, then someone else out there's going to be feeling that as well.
Yeah.
We're all human, aren't we? So yeah, combination for sure.
Yeah. Do you have a sort of main emotion that you feel when you're writing?
I used to write really sad songs, and now it's mixed. Sometimes I'm angry when I'm writing, like 21st Century Suffragette was from anger, but also hope. I think when I'm writing now, I think hope is an emotion that mainly runs through me, but it does change. Sometimes there's moments of despair.
Do you believe in natural female intuition, or like having that gut feeling as a woman? Because some people do say women have that sort of natural gut feeling.
Yeah, I think they do. I think definitely. I think there's like a real strength in a woman's intuition. It's really hard to say. In a woman's intuition, there's a real strength. I think it's like a strong point that I love about women, and I feel passionate about it actually, because I think there is an intuition that women hold, unlike this, of what's right and wrong, and I don't know why that is. I'd love to know more about the science and psychology behind it. But yeah, I'm definitely a big believer of that.
Because obviously before you mentioned about how, you know, there needs to be more women in certain genres of music. Would you say you do like punk or rock music, or what would you define your genre as?
It's like alternative rock with a bit of punk in there, I suppose. Yeah. I would say that's the genre. It's always really hard to know the genre of what you do, but I think that's it. Yeah.
You know the band's name, how it's like girl band. Do you think that because obviously it's about, you know, being a woman in that sort of genre of space where it's quite male dominated, do you think you all have to sort of clarify that you are women in that space?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think so. And I think it's also like, it mainly kind of, for us, is a bit tongue-in-cheek. Like, it's a bit, like, cheeky, because, like, when people think of girl bands, they think of, like, the Spice Girls, who I love, and, you know, like, I don't know, Atomic Kin, were they a girl band? I'm trying to think of some girl bands. Girls Aloud. So it's like, I love the fact that we're called girl band, but we are not, like, Atomic Kin or Girls Aloud. We're like a rock band. So it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, really. And I think, like you say, to really stamp, it's nice to see it on like a rock festival poster, and to see girl band amongst all the males that are dominating the poster.
I have a little gift. It is yeah.
That's so cute.
This is I seen that there was a cover. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cute. I love the bangles too.
Yeah, you Girl Band did a cover about 5 years ago, I think. And yeah, I just wanted to know why do you like the bangles?
I like this. This is so cute. I love this. I'm gonna put this. I take this home.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. I'm gonna put it on my fridge. We like all those kind of like female dominated bands like the Bangles and Sleater Kinney and Joan Jett and the Runaways and I think the Bangles is one of those that's they write great songs as well. I love their songs. They're good songwriters and they're just unapologetic women that make badass music.
We have a little game to play. This is where our creative juices were really flowing during our planning sessions, and it just kind of hit us. We were like, this is the thing to do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring you 5 items of food.
Oh, okay.
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 And you have to guess which city that you've played in or are going to play in the food represents.
Oh.
Then talk about your experience playing there, and also rank it 1 to 5. There's a lot of levels to this.
It's okay, I love it. This
Rank
is great.
it 1 to
Anything
5. Combined experience of how much you like the food
Okay.
and how much you liked playing there, or you think you will like playing
Okay.
there.
That's great. That's a fantastic idea.
Do you have any allergies?
Yes. You should have asked
No.
this.
No, I eat everything. Do we get to eat the food?
You can eat it if you want. There's two that I would not recommend eating,
Okay.
but
You
yeah,
can choose though.
Okay.
if you fancy
This is
it.
the first item of food. It's
Oh,
It's quite
Ponte
loose.
sausage. Nice. I love that you delivered it on a plate as well. You should get a tray
Yeah,
thing.
that's good. Oh, we should. Should have made it fine dining.
So this is a pork cake cocktail sausage.
Yeah. So
We're just thinking about, is it sausage that we're
Sausage.
going for? I'm going to say Germany. Is it Germany?
it is, but narrow it.
No.
Which city is it?
Frankfurt.
No.
No. Where's the sausage from? I was thinking Frankfurt sausage. So somewhere Berlin.
Yes.
Berlin.
That's the one.
Berlin.
We were googling like cities, sausage.
City sausage. Sausage city. I actually specifically love these little guys.
You can have the packet if you want.
Can I?
Yeah.
Does anyone want one? Do you want one? No?
They're for
At
you.
least put your hand up. Out of 5, is it?
So you're gonna rank them 1, 2, 5. So and it's blind. So if you put this one first, but then something else comes out that you like more, so you got to think about how good was it,
What, Berlin?
and the sausage obviously.
Oh, this I'm gonna actually give this. I'm gonna put this at number 2. You know.
It's high.
It is high. Oh no. Okay, so let's change it. Well, we've not been to Italy, so you're not probably going to bring out pasta, which would be that would be a very strong number 1. There'd be no contention there. Yeah, I'm going to go with 3. I'm going to go with 3.
Ooh,
okay.
in the
I'm going to go
middle.
with 3. No, I'm not. I'm going to stick with 2.
Oh.
I'm going with 2. I'm going with 2.
That
I'm sticking with the women's intuition. I'm going with 2, and I'm going to go with Berlin. Recently, we did it with Destroy Boys, which was really good, and it was a great SO36, which is an amazing venue. I'm going to go with number 3 because there's been better. Yes.
Is your
Thank you.
second
Oh,
course.
pork pie. I love pork pies. Oh my gosh. I am a proper pork pie kind of girl, honestly. Brown sauce with the pork pie. Yes. You're bringing up my favourite picnic item.
This is perfect.
Yeah. Pork pie. Where are they from?
From.
Can I eat a pork pie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I eat one now?
Yeah, of course.
Does anyone else want a pork pie?
I love
I
it. If you're
had
on
one earlier.
There you go. Take a pork pie.
Thanks.
Want another pork pie?
I'm okay, thank you.
Do you want a pork pie?
Okay, thanks.
Oh, here we go.
I'll take the food away and enjoy.
Oh.
Oh,
Well, it's definitely not Paris.
it's not Paris.
It's got to be up north. Or the middle of England. Scarborough?
It's not. Have you played in Scarborough? Slay?
Is it recently? Norwich? Lancaster.
It's very. I
Manchester.
feel like this will be the place that you have played the most.
Nottingham.
Nottingham.
Oh man, where am I going to put Nottingham? That's a hard one because we've played, obviously the Rescue Room's headline gig was easily one of the best gigs ever. So I'm going to crown Nottingham number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah, it has to be. And you know what? I'm going to crown the pork pie number 1 too. I am.
An
That's
overall
strong,
winner, Nottingham.
yeah, absolutely.
This may or may not be cooked. This is your third course.
That's a Yorkshire pudding.
Yes, it is.
I love Yorkshire puddings. With gravy. I'm going to say this is York. Let me just put that pork pie there while I talk. York. We did it with Jake Bug.
Did you?
Trying to remember the York gig. Yeah, York was good. I like York as a city too. I recently went for my birthday, which was very nice and fun. Yorkshire pudding. I'll do love a Yorkshire pudding on a Sunday roast, but it's not giving pork pie. So I'm going to place it in 4th. The Yorkshire pudding.
Oh. So
And Yorkham also was nice, but it wasn't like, it was great. I loved it. I love every gig, but it wasn't like wow factor. So I'm going to also place you 4th York. Sorry. Oh no, we did play York again recently, which was really good as well. With Tommy Smith. That was lovely. They were lovely people, but I'm still going 4th.
it literally came out of the freezer into the Tupperware.
Well, you defrosted it.
Yeah, at least it's defrosted.
Now, this is your 4th one.
Thank you,
I
a
feel
croissant.
you've made some grave mistakes.
I love a croissant. I actually do love a croissant. This has got to be Paris.
Yes.
La croissant.
Oui.
Merci beaucoup. Paris is great. We're going to Paris soon. Again. I'm trying to think of the orders I've already placed things in.
So you've got 3 and 5 left for food.
I'm sorry, croissant. You maybe would have picked there for number 2. But it's got to be number 3. Cannot go last. I love croissants. My brother lives in Paris too. When I've stayed with him, he goes to the bakery in the morning and gets fresh croissants. So that's nice.
What a life to be living.
I know, he's
Wow.
living the best life. I told you. Them people, he's living a great life, you know. And City of Paris, what spots do we have left?
I think you've got 2 and 5 left.
2 and 5. Oh man, that's so hard because I don't know what's going to be next. And I think there has been better gigs than Paris, but we're going again next week, so it could easily go to number 1. But at the minute, as far as gigs go, it's not number 2. But it depends what comes out next. Oh gosh, it's got to be number 5.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it's not number 5. I love Paris and I probably would put it above York, but I've given that spot away, so.
Now,
What is this for?
don't get too excited now. Don't eat it all at once.
Fish and chips. That's so cute. Who did these? Me. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. Let me just show them. Fish and chips. Obviously the coast of England. Oh man, fish and chips could have totally been number 1.
God.
I love food too much. Where in the coast of England? Brighton?
Bang on.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Brighton. I love Brighton. It has to go to, where did we say? Number 3? Number 2?
Number 2, yeah.
Oh. Sorry, France. But Brighton's number 2. No, I actually really love Brighton as a city as well. It's one of my favourite cities in the world. So that's nice that it's number 2. Fish and chips is number 2 as well, right? Number 3.
Number 3.
Oh, it probably could be higher because I love fish and chips, especially these fish and chips.
They are adorable.
They're so
I wouldn't
cute.
recommend eating that pink one though.
No, it might be a bit poisonous.
Yeah.
But yeah, fellow fish and chips, they're very nice. And Brighton fish and chips are very nice too. So that's number 3. But it probably deserves to be a bit higher.
Stunning.
That was great.
I do want a pork pie now though.
Yeah, have it. Okay, well, Georgie, that brings us to the end of the podcast, almost. We heard through the grapevine that you'd like a little bit of JD.
I love a bit of JD.
So we thought in true fashion we'd get you a little bit
Oh,
of something to indulge in.
that's so sweet.
I'm not exactly sure
Thank you so much. That's
what's
so
going on
kind.
in there, but something to do with chocolate and JD, so hopefully you'll like it.
2 of the best things that life has blessed us with. Thank you so much.
That's okay.
That is so kind.
We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
having you on the podcast as our
It's a
first
pleasure.
guest.
Pleasure.
Couldn't
I
have
enjoyed it.
wished for a better one. And where can we see you next? Where's Girlband going to be?
Well, we go to Europe next week, but Dot to Dot Festival.
Oh, okay, cool.
Dot to Dot. Yeah, we'll be at Dot to Dot Festival, which is a magnificent festival.
Sweet.
So, yeah.
And where can people find you?
Instagram and TikTok, GIRLBAND HQ, and then Spotify and Tidal and Apple Music and all them.
Everywhere.
And YouTube as well. Yeah,
Cool.
GIRLBAND.
Sweet. And new music?
Coming very soon.
Yes.
Very, very soon, actually.
Cool.
In a couple of weeks.
Beautiful. Well, lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I've had the best time. Thank you so much. It really has been lovely.
Woo.
Trying to think what I could do to make it great for the next person to think. I'm going to start with the D chord, and I'm just going to sing.
We've got all eyes on you right now.
I'm going to sing because I'm a woman. That's it. Because I'm a woman.
That's sick. I love that.
Yeah.
Can
there you go.
you hear it once more?
Yeah. That was a melody. Because I'm a woman. There you go.
Perfect.